Hey guys, welcome to Toy Chat. This is Max.
Autumn.
And Sang.
And today we are going to be reviewing Ari Hauntington.
Well, thank you to Monster High for sending us a review copy of Ari.
Yes, as of this recording, Ari is not commercially available yet, but there is a posting on Amazon for her, which we will put the link in the description. She has pretty standard packaging. It's similar to Dracula.
If you are familiar with our reviews on Reboot Dracula or Frankie, she has the same design. Just her background is purple.
And it has the same picture. I was originally thinking they would, I guess, change up the different character art that appears in the bottom right, but it looks like it's just permanently Dracula, Frankie, and Claudine for like the signature line.
Yep. And as always, there's a disclaimer that these dolls do not come with stands or any brushes.
Yeah, so the only accessory this doll comes with is a purse. So this is the back of Ari's box. She has her standard artwork on the upper left as well as her bio. If you weren't already able to tell by her name, it feels like, as with a lot of the other singers and certain characters, they try to base some of these dolls and characters off certain, celebrities and pop culture figures. It feels like Ari Hauntington is very inspired by Ariana Grande. She is, musician and etc. All the stuff that comes with that. So we're gonna show her bio on screen if you'd like to read the whole thing.
I'd just like to mention that I actually really like her box art. I think she looks really cute.
Yeah. Well.
Very like glitz and glam, like sparkles. I like that her clothing has little sparkles on them.
I mean, the clothing doesn't actually look like that, but yeah, in the art it does.
Yeah.
And like the other dolls in this line, there's a little blurb about the Welcome to Monster High movie, and it also shows you some of the other ghouls available in the signature line, both of whom we've already reviewed. If you haven't seen those reviews yet, be sure to check them out. So let's go ahead and open Miss Ari up.
Okay, so here is Ari Hauntington unboxed.
It's purple and more purple. It's purple over here, and then there's purple right there.
So Ari Hauntington has light lavender eyebrows. She has purple and light lavender iris, which is her eyes. For you kids. She has light pink eyeshadow on top with a little grayish purple eyeshadow underneath. Ari does not come with any blush, but she does come with almost like the metallic kind of gloss skin tone. So it almost gives up like a pinkish color in certain lightings.
Yeah, I think a big part of the reason why they didn't give her blush is she has a very luminescent, kind of iridescent face.
Yeah.
It's
like white, grayish in color,
shimmery,
but it does have that kind of purple shimmer to it. She has light purple lipstick on. It's just one color. It's matted.
She has a nice face. I think it looks better than it did in the promo pictures.
I mean, definitely considering for this particular release, I was really not enthralled by the promo pictures and leaked pictures. She's a bit nicer in person, but it's very simple. All kind of different shades of purple. It's all kind of one color.
Ari comes with medium length hair up to her waist. It is tied back in 2 braids from the center of her head. It's tied all the way back to the very back with a rubber band. Her hair is a mixture of a pinkish lavender.
I would say it's more
like sherbet.
I would say it's more like a pale gray lavender.
Okay.
Well, none of us know what color her hair is, but it is a mesh of warm to cool purples, which is a cool combination.
Ari has a dark purple collar at the top of her outfit it's like little piano keys, falls into her music theme. And her outfit, it's like a little dress that has light lavender chains throughout and little dark purple squares with music notes around them. Nothing too crazy.
It does finish with a cute, tall, frilly edge.
Yeah.
Which is a nice little added effort.
Yeah. And she also has a little silver belt that also has music notes on it and some chains with little plastic like pom-poms at the bottom. I'm very glad they added the belt because this outfit really needs a belt. Ari has a purse that is like a clear, translucent, pinkish purple color with a little chain design throughout the purse. The handle is also chains, and the bottom of it has little plastic tassels falling out from the bottom of it, which I think gives it kind of an interesting, like, hippie vibe to the accessory. And she also has what looks to me like a purple slime bracelet, basically.
Ectoplasm, perhaps?
Yeah. Ari is wearing an interesting shade of purple boots. They're almost kind of like a bright pinkish purple. They're somewhat translucent, like some of her other accessories. You Spectra fans out there, these shoes may be giving you a little bit of deja vu. I think they're kind of similar in theme to Spectra's original shoes, where like the ball and chain was on the heel, on the wedge. In this case, though, there's like a little ball and chain on the side of her shoe. And it just kind of goes up into, very simple chain design on the bottom and at the ankle. Beyond that, they're actually extremely simple shoes.
Yeah, they seem unfortunately simple for me. Like, if she's a pop star, I don't know.
The shoes are extremely basic for my taste. I'm not really a fan of these shoes. I feel like it would have been cooler to give her, like, silver shoes, or of course shoes with some paint or something like that. Yeah, these shoes are just kind of there.
So here we have Ari Hauntington standing next to original Spectra Vondergeist, and we have them together because obviously they're very similar, and we'll talk about that.
They're both daughter of the ghosts or ghosts. So a lot of concerns over Ari replacing Spectra. So we thought to be a fun comparison to see how similar they are. But as Monster High has officially stated, I think on Instagram, that none of the original ghouls from the original story are going anywhere. Time will tell to see if actually Spectra will make her appearance in Monster High.
I mean, obviously, thematically, they're very similar.
Yeah, and they clearly have, what I would consider essentially the same color scheme, where it's basically purple and black, more or less, with bits and pieces of, like, different hues of pink. When they first revealed Ari, or when when Ari first leaked, I thought Ari was intended as, like a sibling of Spectra's, because I thought her last name was going to end up being Vondergeist, because she was definitely designed in a very similar vein, from what I can tell.
Yeah, Ari is very similar to Haunted Spectra. They have this kind of same skin tone. She's made of a different material, which is what Ari is made of now.
I expect the overall, like, having her whole skin, just face, whole body, be that same kind of luminescent see-through thing is easier than doing, like, her kind of see-through eyes and hands. Yeah. I know her eyes aren't actually see-through, but I think that's what they were going for.
Right, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the biggest difference you'll notice between these two in terms of the faces is, Spectra has the completely ghostly white face, as where Ari has, that pearly luminescent face, where it does, like they mentioned, it's basically almost like a different material. It has a different sheen to it.
I definitely like the material they used for Ari, but the biggest problem with Ari is, with the plastic they use, is you can't really see her nose. It kind of vanishes. So that's the problem I had with Haunted Spectra too. It's very hard to photograph or even look at her nose.
To just put in my 2 cents on this whole situation, I think the introduction of Ari does fall in line with, you know, some unsettling assumptions that it's easy to make about, you know, the direction of the reboot, just in terms of, you know, obviously, as we've discussed in previous videos, there are a lot of great positive things, you know, about the reboot we've come to learn, but, you know, despite the fact that it has been confirmed that supposedly none of these characters are going to be replaced, it is still unsettling that there are, you know, 3 Ari Hauntington releases, you know, either coming or on the way, and we still have not heard a single peep about anything, you know, for Spectra. And one of the things that I noticed right off the bat is, you know, I personally consider Spectra to have been one of the, you know, kind of creepiest, spookiest Monster High characters. You know, she has the sunken in cheeks, she is very ghostly looking, and they gave her kind of spooky eyes, and it was one of the things that, you know, I loved about her. It was very on theme. As where Ari is very cutesy and sweet, which seems to be more of the direction, you know, they're going into. So I do still have concerns that, you know, they're basically scrapping Spectra in favor of a cutesier ghost character.
If you watched our Monica review, then you probably gathered how I feel about these new characters. It's not as grave of a offense as replacing Ghoulia for me, but still, even if Ari isn't an intended replacement and they're just gonna waltz Spectra in eventually, I just feel like it's lazy. Like, really, another ghost girl with purple hair. You couldn't do any other color. It's not like purple is, like, inherently ghostly, you know? It could be anything. And
I mean, there's a fan theory going around that, you know, Ari is Spectra in disguise. There's a whole, I don't know, I'm not really well read in, like, the Monster High history, but, you know, Spectra's diary or something lists her used to have a solid form, and Ari's back description of her box lists that she can turn solid.
Well, okay, so look at them. Could if Ari Hauntington, the character, didn't exist, and someone told you, oh, this is just the reboot Spectra, like, this is her new face, like, could you see that? Do you see that?
Well,
in
here's
her?
the deal, though. I don't think she looks like Spectra, but she looks like haunted Spectra.
I think my whole thing is, if this were to be reboot Spectra, I would be heartbroken that we're losing that gorgeous body mold that Spectra had. It's like, I loved that, like, fade to, you know, translucence, like, body mold that she had, where I thought it was so striking and so unique, and as where Ari, it's kind of just like a solid thing throughout.
I mean, I'm not super heartbroken on that, just because the paint on original Spectra tend to chip off. But yeah, I mean, if Ari turns out to be Spectra in disguise, you know, maybe she's like Hannah Montana, you know. So, you know, Ari is her stage name, or whatever Monster I decide to do with Ari. Spectra's face is very mature, very creepy, you know.
Like I said, to me, she was, I mean, in my opinion, you know, when Autumn did her spooky contest and we had to do, like, a creepy picture, Spectra was the first one who came to mind to me, because especially if you, like, edit Spectra's eyes or something like that, she's a very creepy character.
Yeah, I mean, she looks like, I mean, she has the same,
yeah,
like, creepy face as, like, the monster or ghost in The Conjuring 2.
Yeah, which I love, though. She's so monstery. Yeah, I like that.
So I mean, I can understand why they're trying to steer away from it. You know, Spectra is one of the most popular face molds they use for repaints, because she has a very, like, human-like face. You know, time will tell if we're actually gonna get Spectra, or they'll introduce Ari as Spectra. The movie's supposed to be coming out, so maybe they'll address that in the movie.
It's kind of like what Autumn mentioned. It's like if they were going to introduce an actual, like, brand new ghost character, I really would have much rather seen a new color scheme, at least. Like, maybe like a blue. They could have had, like, blue, which frankly, I've always loved blue-haired Spectras, and there have been very, very few of those. But. All right, and these are our final thoughts on Ari Hauntington.
Yeah, so do we think she is a doll that's worth purchasing? Do you think this release is the one they should get?
Here's what I'll say about her. You know, I had a very negative impression of Ari when I first saw, you know, original leaked images of her. She is actually nicer in person than I was expecting. I definitely think my favorite thing about her is I do actually like that kind of luminescent, iridescent face. It is very striking. As we mentioned, yeah, it's kind of lame that it makes her nose difficult to see, but it is unique. You know, I kind of like the blend of purple, different shades of purple in her hair. She's cute. She's a bit simple and bland for my taste. I personally would probably wait until she's, you know, on sale before I would go for her. And my big issue, as I mentioned in the comparison, is I feel, you know, kind of how Autumn feels about Monica. I don't know how necessary I feel this character is, because I think she's designed in a very similar vein to Spectra, particularly in the fact that she's a ghost with a purple color scheme. You know, ironically, I thought that the signature like pop star version of Ari was going to end up being the nicest version of her, but now I'm not so sure because, you know, that version isn't going to be articulated. So if you're interested in Ari, this might end up being the version you should go for if you want any articulation. She's all right to me. I'm probably gonna wait until her price goes down a little bit. I wouldn't really file her as a must-have.
I think for $14.99, she's decent. Like, if you have to have her, then yeah, snatch her up. I mean, she's fully articulated. Her outfit's detailed enough to my standards, except for her shoes. Not a big fan of the concept, but as soon as Spectra comes back, I'll probably get this Ari. I like her better than her stage whatever outfit, because yeah, I really articulated arm joints are a must for me. But she's really cute. I like the detail they put in her hair.
You know, I think with the signature line, they do pop in the box, and I think Ari still, you know, display that quality. Ari is cute. I think if her nose was more visible, I think she'd be a very cute doll. I like her eyes. I like the color palette they use for her. But yeah, like we mentioned before, she's very similar to Spectra. If she's not intended to be a replacement, she does have a very striking, similar color palette, which is a little alarming. But if you look past that, say you're just getting into Monster High now, which I think that's what Monster High is trying to do, is, you know, attract more of a new audience. I think she's a very cute doll. I wouldn't mind or even be against recommending her for anyone who likes Monster High. She is a little basic in terms of outfit, but you know, I'm always happy when they use more than one type of fabric, so that's a plus. She has a belt, purse, her shoes are very basic, but you know, I'm all for new characters. It's just a little sad that there's a lot of comparisons and a lot of themes and colors reused for her. But you know, if you get her on sale, you know, $10 or whatever, that's, I think, a great price for this doll. If you are a collector, then yeah, definitely pick her up. She's a very nice doll. I think she'll be a nice addition to anyone's shelf.
Yes, so hopefully with this upcoming movie, Ari will stake her own individual claim as a unique character in the Monster High universe. So, you know, we won't really know for sure until the movie comes out.
Here's to hoping.
So this has been our review of Ari Hauntington. Thank you for joining us for this review. Be sure to let us know what you guys think of this new ghoul in the comments, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.